Ruth here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. All right, have y'all heard? I know y'all probably heard about this story. You've had to hear about it. It's all over the place, okay? Because it is a American tragedy. So back in 2023, Lindsay Clancy, I think she's a maternity nurse. She was a maternity nurse at MGH Hospital in Massachusetts. She had 3 young babies, married to Patrick Clancy, young married couple, 3 young children. Lindsay at the time was diagnosed with postpartum depression, psychosis. She was going through it. I think it happened after her first child. Lindsay was having some trouble with, raising her children and being a new mom. They had a second baby, they had a third baby. It never quite went away. So from what we're hearing, Lindsay was trying to get help, and she was being very vocal about, going through and struggling raising her children. So everybody knew it wasn't a secret. And, Lindsay was getting prescribed medication. So now, well, let me finish and tell y'all what actually happened. So unfortunately, and this is where this breaks my absolute heart. One day, Patrick, the husband, I guess they both came to a decision that they were going to, eat out have takeout that day. So, Lindsay picked the place that they wanted the takeout to come from, which is actually kind of further away from where they usually order from, right? So Patrick agrees that, hey, you know what? I'll go and pick up some stuff. I'll go and pick it up, right? Go pick up the food. So, and Lindsay also needed some medicine at CVS. And, Patrick, they agreed that Patrick would pick that up, while he's going to pick up the food. So Patrick gets to CVS, picks up the food. Gets to CVS. I think he was having a hard time finding the medication. He did, interact with Lindsay. He reached out to her, so they had, they communicated. Lindsay seemed very fine, was able to tell him, what she needed. And so he got what it was that, that she wanted him to pick up. He got it. Then he went on over to the restaurant to pick up the food. Everything's all good, what have you. So he thought. Patrick goes home. I know y'all heard the story, but I'm just gonna, because you never know. Some people just probably never heard. Patrick goes home, child, and the 3 kids and a wife. You're gonna hear babies running around. You're gonna hear noise. It's a lot of people in the house, right? Patrick hears silence. He automatically knew something was wrong. Why is it silent in my house in the middle of the day? Patrick goes searching and going around the house. He goes to his bedroom and notices that the door is locked. So when he realized that, he's like, wait, a locked door? Something's wrong, right? Quiet, number one red flag. Second red flag, the door is locked. Okay? Patrick goes in the bedroom to see. It looks like a bloodbath. Okay? But there's no one there. So he's obviously startled, like, what is going on here? So he's searching, he's walking around and stuff. He said it looks like it's a spray. Okay? All over the place. So he's looking around. He goes to the window and opens the window to see Lindsay outside of the window. Okay? Lindsay is like responsive, but like she's like kind of going in and out, right? But he goes out, goes to her, and he's startled, like, what is going on? What happened? What's going on? And she said, I tried to myself, right? I gotta be careful, y'all, because you know YouTube don't play. YouTube will give you, these days, YouTube will give you a strike for breathing. Oh, you breathe heavy at 2.2 minutes, so therefore you get a strike, child. So, all right, so yeah, so he's like, wait, what happened? Like, and she said, well, I tried to myself. So he said, of course, where are the children, child? Where's the kids? She says, in the basement. Y'all, Patrick goes down to the basement to see the most unimaginable, I can't speak, unimaginable, horrific, sad. You shouldn't have to see that with your naked eyes. You know, this father saw 2 of his babies attacked. Exercise bands around their neck. 2 of his babies. 2 of his babies. Face down. Now, mind you, he called on the way from you know, he did call 911. So 911 is on the scene while he's going around. So he had called 911 earlier, right probably before, when he saw, you know, the bedroom, and when he first saw Lindsay, he had called 911. So 911 now is on the scene because the cops heard him screaming. And they said it was a primal, like a noise that they never heard of come out of someone's vocal cords. This man was in dreadful pain, hurt at what he's seen with his baby, how he saw his babies. But not 1, y'all, not 2, right? He had to find his 3rd child. They had 3 kids. Only 2 he saw. So he went looking for the 3rd one. He ended up finding the 3rd one in his office. Same way. Wristband. Exercise band. So now we're here, y'all. Now we are here. Now mind you, her attorneys, Lindsay's attorneys, are not denying what she did. No one is denying it, okay? The whole trial is questioning if they should lock her up because she was going through postpartum depression, psychosis. You know, she was not in her right mind. So that's where we are right now, and that's why it is such a big trial, okay? We have, Lindsay has supporters, honey, all over the country. All over the country. You have women bringing their children to the courthouse, picketing justice for Lindsay. Justice for Lindsay.
Her, we see that she tried everything, and I really do believe that she went into a state of psychosis.
It felt like the system failed her. She was begging for help and no one was there. I don't know if us being here will make her feel any better, huh? I mean, she's living in hell right now.
Justice for Lindsay. I have a question. And I ask the Holy Spirit to lead me so I don't sound like I am taking a side, because Lindsay, I feel, should be heard. Okay? Lindsay, I feel, should be heard. Lindsay, if Lindsay was going through that mentally, and there was a break mentally, because she did say she heard a man's voice saying, "You'll never have another time like this, do it now." There's a man's voice whispering in her head. Okay? My question is, if Lindsay was not an educated maternity nurse working at MGH with a educated young husband also, right? With a husband and a nice house, with a village around them of support. They had the grandparents, they had their parents on both sides. Full support. You know, they're not rich, but they had, you know, they were comfortable. They're both making good money. If this was a single mom, hear me out, single mom with maybe one baby daddy or two baby daddies, a single mom with my skin color, not that much education in the system, maybe on Section 8, EBT card, blah, 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 what have you. And this happened. And this happened to her. And she unalived her babies and claimed that she was not in her right mind and that she was going through postpartum depression. Would this be an American tragedy? Would we have hundreds and thousands of women outside the courthouse? Justice for Lawana Jenkins. Justice for Shanika. Would it be a whole trial? Because listen, let me tell you something. It has happened. There have been young mothers, black, that their children, did we dig deep into their mental health and see where they was and where they were mentally? Did anybody dig deep into Chris Watts? You know Chris Watts, the dad who never had a record, quiet as kept, never did nothing to nobody, unalived his two babies and his pregnant wife. Oh no, but Chris Watts meant to do that. How do you know? Because Chris Watts said he heard voices too. He said it. And something was telling him to do it. After he confessed, okay, he said that something was telling him to do it. I'm just asking a question. Why are we picking and choosing? I'm not saying that Lindsay I'm not saying, oh no, she did that to her children, she should go straight to jail. What I'm saying is it fair for everybody? Because see, in my adult woman life, this goes a whole different way from what I've seen for people that don't look like Lindsay and don't have what Lindsay has. This case would have been wrapped up by 12 o'clock on the first day. People would be eating sandwiches and finding a way home, the whole jury, on the same day at lunchtime. Because you know why? They would have came to it, God, guilty, life. And what about the inner city kid who was born in poverty, who daddy, been in jail all his life? The mama has so many ups, so many downs that she decided, I can't raise this kid on my own. The kid grows up in the inner city, poor, broke, always hungry, and decide by the age that he can, like that little boy Yummy at 11 years old. Y'all look up at what's his name? Yummy Sandover, I think his name is. The age when he can, jumps off the porch because he has no other way. There's no other option. I got to go get this money, or I'm going to always go to bed hungry. So therefore, I'm jumping off the porch and committing crimes. What about him? Huh? Do he get an evaluation? Does he get, you know what I mean, a full trial? And then, like, let's really look at this. We're going to take our time here. We're going to take our time and pick out our jurors. We're going to do everything that we need to do to make sure that this person gets a fair, that little Yummy Sandover, little black boy that was born in a mess, gets a fair shake. Just like Lindsay. Because, y'all, I'm be honest with you, it just ain't seeming fair around here. Look at Gary, Indiana, been without lights for 2.5, almost 3 weeks now. Been without lights. What? That is not top news. I should see that every time I turn on social media, every time I turn on the news. That should be top news, that a whole city has been out of lights for 3 weeks. I live in Massachusetts. If that was Massachusetts, honey, it wouldn't be 3 minutes. Huh? Y'all let me know. This case, again, I am not saying, oh, Lindsay should go the life in prison, because I do believe that there was some sort of mental break. I do. But there's mental breaks a lot of times when these horrible crimes are committed. Is that how we're gonna, no, it's a mental break, so therefore, let it just innocent, because it's a mental break. It's a mental break. She's not on trial to she's guilty or not guilty, like that she didn't do it. We're not questioning she did it. Everybody agrees that she did it. But she wasn't in the right mind. You know what I do? I worry that there'll be, I'm not saying that Lindsay is a bad person, but what I'm saying is there's bad people in this world that will look at Lindsay and go, I look like her. I don't like these children. I don't like my kids. I need an out. I'm going to follow and copycat and do the exact same thing. I'm not saying that, Lindsay. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is there are bad people in this world, y'all, that will look at her and go, ha ha. Right? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this case. Y'all let me know. And now people are saying, oh, well, you know what? Patrick took too long, getting from it's only 15 minutes to get to his destination. And Patrick was taking too long to get to the drugstore. So they're saying, what was you doing, Patrick? He didn't really have an answer to that. I don't know. But come on, y'all. People sit in their car. People listen to music. People do. So now they're going, oh, well, the Lindsay supporters are trying to blame Patrick. Well, he did this. Child, is everybody okay? Now, mind you, when they rushed her to the hospital, as soon as she was able to talk and speak and stuff, Honey, she asked the nurse to get her lawyers. Not, did one of my babies make it? Oh, my babies. Oh, no. Oh, no. Can you call my lawyer? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Y'all let me know how you feel about this. Am I looking at this the wrong way? I am just asking a question now. But I need y'all. Put down a comment. Let me know. What do y'all feel about this case? And make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I'll be back. I will be back every day. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. That's really important. And subscribe, y'all. Love y'all real bad. I'll see y'all later. Bye.